Greetings, everyone. Gleekon here again, and I am back with another episode of Warcraft, back with just oozing excitement to be with you here, making this show where we cover everything, every book, magazine, piece of lore, weird Dungeons and Dragons manual, manga, and everything in between, including all of the games, every quest in the game, and we're doing a World of Warcraft Classic walkthrough right now. We're in Desolace, we're doing a Horde run, we've basically finished it, and now today is where we get truly crazy, truly, one might say, OCD adjacent with the way that we do this project. Stay a while and listen. As we go back into Desolace, we've done everything except once you have sided with a centaur faction, in our case we sided with the Gelkis, and complete their entire quest line, it is technically possible, and because it's possible, we will do it. It is technically possible to then switch sides and join the other faction. With the Pariah's instructions, this is a Maraudon quest, so that's not actually counting, but all these little guys are lit up because we can switch over and fight the Maraudon here. Now, I'm looking at some bad juju kind of in my space. I don't like the amount of space we have that's going to be taken up. We're going to have to be making some inventory runs, most likely back and forth to here if we don't want to lose money. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do, we have to go over to our rep bar, and because we're friends with we have to switch to at war. So now, even though we've just helped the Gelkis with all of their things, we're now switching over and we're gonna make them at war. Now there's a error right now with between LUI and the latest patch where you can't look at your guild rep, your reputation bar, I mean, in that faction, which is super annoying. So we'll just have to keep popping it up from here to here. But we have to get the Magrum. So it's going to begin. We need 625 you're going to get it in bouts of 20. So for our purposes, we need 640 pieces of XP. So that's going to be 32 mobs to get us back from hostile, which is where I believe we're at right now. Yeah, from hostile, not hated luckily, but from hostile to unfriendly, we need From hostile to unfriendly, we need 34 dudes. So we're going to just start by killing these people. Now, because we've switched at war, they are now yellow instead of the green they would otherwise be. Now, in terms of kills, no, I'm not worried about it. It's just the sheer amount. This is a straight grind, so it's 854. We're going to see how long this grind takes us. It's going to take us a while. And because of that, I think we have to find some other things to talk about today. Because otherwise this is going to be quite the experience. I don't mean that positively. It would be just a doozy of a journey here. Okay, that was one kill. We'll keep a kill count going on. So this is Centaur number 2 we're fighting. That'll be part of what we do. I guess I can also start by hitting a shotgun like that. If I do that, though, the mana production is going to go down. So what is faster? The need to kill them faster. Like, is that what's going to be faster for us? Or should I just keep the lightning shield up, heal as needed? So that's another possibility as well. And then hit him with a cross shot. Okay, that was our 3rd kill, BT dub. The good thing is they won't aggro each other. This is a wind chaser. So in the process, I'm going to go ahead and take a lightning shot to the face. The only thing I'm going to save my earth shot for is for these people are the heal right there. That's another thing. That was our 4th kill. I already lost count. That's how bad I am. Okay. This should be our 5th one. Now, another reason why killing these guys is a little bit more fun, or a little bit better, because every now and then you fight packs that have a pet. It should be our 6th kill up here. With the Magrum, it is when you fight the packs that have a pet, you're fighting the hyenas, and the hyenas are not worth rep. However, when you fight the Gelkis, you will fight these Earth Callers with their Rumbler pets. This should be our 7th Centaur. And the pets are worth rep when you fight them. So that's kind of neat. So I did want to come with some, like, plans for us, you know. Okay, so this will be our 8th kill. Now, is he going to be immune? He is immune to the lightning, so that's something you got to kind of track, because what he's doing is he is actually like ticking off, and this will be our 9th kill. This guy is ticking off our lightning shield, but he is not actually like producing. Now, could we hit him with fire? Yeah, so he's not immune to that. Okay, I think I said that was 8. Maybe that was 9. Yikes, we're already in bad shape. Okay, so where are we at here? We still are hostile. We need 445, which means we need 460. So 460 kills is 23. So that means we were at 7. Plus I think we needed 4. 3, I don't know. Anyway, we have 23 remaining kills, so yeah, maybe it'll be better to count down. I don't know. Alright, so I did think of at least one talking point. Will it get us through our time? I don't know. Okay, 22 remaining. Not sure, because this is going to be such a long grind. 21 kills left. Yeah, we're getting kind of low on that. And I think we just ride it out. I think I just don't use any of this stuff when the mana gets low. I mean, we got to keep the Wind Fury weapon going on. That's essential. And I say, for now, I just don't fight those guys. I mean, actually, it's 21. Okay, that's 20 kills, I think, remaining. Alright, so one of the things that the first thing that popped into my head, and I kind of like this idea, is, you know, we plan on going through this entire show, and there's many reasons why we do it. One, right, we do it because we want to have, I want to provide this experience. I think it's a cool project, right? So that's neat. And it's something that's not out there in the world. In the wider world of like YouTube. I don't think anyone has ever successfully done what I'm doing, like a long play form of every single quest. Maybe there is out there. I've seen people that have like lengthy attempts at it, but I don't know that they're as crazy completionists as me, because first of all, very few people are, period. So we do crazy things that are painful, like what we're doing right now, and that in itself is a little bit rare. So then to capture it all on film and share it and talk about it, I think that's a little bit abnormal. So there's that element. The project in itself has a lot of appeal. I think it's really fun. But then, of course, there's the personal element. Like, what will I get out of this experience myself? And I think it's the exposure and the in-depth, real, like, learning, even if it's just reviewing. There are things that, even though I've done this project, I've never done a project like this in one straight go where I'm not also distracted by a side goal, like keeping myself at a certain item level, or also pursuing achievements or whatever. And yeah, we aggroed that guy. I've also never done it with both factions. Back in the day, like I said, I did all of the Lore Master achievements when they first arose for Classic, when you had to do like Lore Master of Eastern and Western Kalimdor, and it was really a quest count. There was that was all you were getting. It wasn't like this big. At least we can kind of see the bar right there that it's getting close. But yeah, to do that, and you had to just hunt down as many quests as you could, and then same thing for Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King. So I've done that experience, but I've also that was on Horde, which is basically what we're doing now. And I have done like the full every Lore Master achievement all the way up through Dragonflight on an Alliance character with my main dude. That it's been my main since BFA. So that means Horde is definitely lacking, and yeah, like I said, there's no cohesive project that I've done it all in one shot like this in some time. So, that is the big picture, but I think within each, there is also a lack of, like, there was a lack of overall greater understanding. Having played through World of Warcraft 1, 2, and 3 and all of their expansions in the lead up to this, I think has given me a perspective which is pretty nice. So that's pretty cool. And because of that, I think there are things within each expansion that I'm now looking forward to. So the first thing, one of the main things I want to talk about today is what is it that I'm looking forward to out of each expansion. What do I hope to gain maybe that I didn't do in the past, and what's that going to look like? So I think, because even doing Lore Master on my own, there's probably some times when I'm like, kind of glazing, my eyes are glazing over. I do it like right now, I'm like one of my side projects, and I do this very, very, very slowly. I maybe will play for a beat 4 times a week, but I've been trying to go through the Baldur's Gate series, and like in an OCD fashion like this, where I'm essentially playing Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 Classic right now, which is a whole different, because they did a remaster of those games, like, I don't know, 10 years ago or so, maybe a little bit less, and so playing through the old games, but also, and doing it like a full completionist, but also knowing like, I'm gonna eventually play the remasters of these, so my eyes glaze over. Even though the text is really cool, Baldur's Gate is funny and it has a lot of good stuff, I still find myself like just skimming and not really getting into the lore, because I know I'm gonna do it all again. Well, even when I play some of the stuff now, all the, like, even once Dragonflight came out, which is within the scope of the show, Dragonflight didn't exist when the show first came out. Because I know I'm going to get there with you guys at some point. It makes me, it's kind of one of the reasons why I suggested, and Cuzzy kind of said, you know, it'd be okay to hear that. But again, you guys feel free to guide me. I'm definitely open to suggestions. I think anybody that knows that's asked me for things in the comments over the years, made suggestions, made corrections, whether those are on the technical side of things, on the experiential side of things. I've been pretty receptive. You know, originally I was never going to plan to do Burning Crusade Classic. I wasn't going to start from scratch. I was going to skip all these quests when I did that. And before they took that off the table, I had, you know, someone basically say, to be a true lore master, you need to do that. If we want to really say you're covering everything, and I was like, well, good point. You're going to add years onto my life, but we're going to do it. And they took that away, and instead we did a reboot. And so we're coming back now, and we are rebooting this show. Or we did reboot it. Don't worry, it's not going to happen again. So that's, and there are other examples of that I try to be friendly to the cause here. Oh, we just did it. All right, so that was, we have now become unfriendly with each faction simultaneously. Okay, so now we need to get a full 3,000. So remember, 100 is 5, which means 1,000 is 50, which means we now need 150 kills to get ourselves up from, I believe, unfriendly into neutral. Right? You can kind of look and see, yeah, we went to neutral, then to unfriendly. And then we still need to get from unfriendly into, from neutral into friendly as well. So we need 6,000 points right now is where we're at. So again, 20 points is 100, 5 kills is 100, 50 is 1,000, and we need that. So we need 300 kills. That's not as bad as I thought. I don't know why I said 600 before. So that's good. We just saved ourselves some time, right? Because I really, truly thought we had 600 kills to do today, and now it's only 300. That's still going to be quite a bit of time. For a frame of reference, what did we just kill? I think we killed 30-something, around 34, somewhere in that ballpark. And we have been playing for, let's see where we have today. We've been playing today, well, it doesn't give us that. It gives me my total time played, which for this character we're at 4 days and 15 hours. And we have been 3 hours in as a level 40. I don't know where we are today, but not that long. I mean, maybe 20 minutes. I guess we can look at the old record there. Yeah, 15 minutes. So 15 minutes, 17 minutes really. 17 minutes it took us to kill 30. 35. So we need basically 20 times that. No, because what did I say? We need 300. So we need 10 times that. So 150 minutes. That's a long time. Maybe a little bit less because we don't really quite need the 10 times. Because that would be 360 minute kills, and we only need 300. Okay. Yeah. So you could chop off another 17 minutes or so, 20 minutes off of that. So if you took 300 and... Oh, 10 times that. So you took 170 and then chopped off 20 minutes. So about 150. That's still 2.5 hours of grinding. So we're going to kind of feel it out. Which is, I don't know that we're going to do the entire grind today because of that. We're going to get as close as we can. I mean, we should get some leveling up. That should be part of our process, which will be nice. Like, we are right now 63% of the way to leveling up. Alright, so, what I would... Because of all of this project, yeah, I now am playing through this game. Like, even when I'm redoing some Dragonflight stuff with my wife. Like, I'm like, this... I know I'm going to do it with you guys, and do it in a much more in-depth way. And sometimes when we're playing some of these, and I've done them recently like 4 times, I kind of even glaze over when we're going through it. This guy says, has anyone seen a giant roaming? I want to tell him, like, yeah, they're all over. The village, meaning Shadow Prey Village. Hopefully they get that. He's probably looking for a quest I just did. Yeah, I didn't get a lot of side personal questing done yesterday because just because we ended up leaving, so you know I ended up going out last night, which was for my sister's / my birthday. You know, it was fine. I had a good. The food was decent. Like I mentioned before, it's about an hour drive, so everything on the celebration kind of had that little caveat. Like the entire night, it's all whatever fun I was experiencing, whatever joy was going on. It was also with the knowledge, like when this is all done, I have an hour drive. I have to drive back home for an hour. So it was fine. My family, because it was my sister's technical birthday, and mine is in just a couple days now. A few days. And the way it's always happened in my life, because of those things, is we very, very frequently had shared birthdays, and hers is always a couple days first. So when it shakes out like this, it's a common refrain that it will be kind of about my sister. And then it's like, oh yeah, and also you too, happy birthday. But I also don't really give a crap. So, you know, everybody was nice. They came out, and it was my sister, my family, and then a couple of their friends who we also know. My wife and I know for hanging out over the years. But, oh, and some of my, like, in-laws. But basically, it became like a kind of a little bit of a dramatic situation. There was beef. The wife and not the wife. My sister's friends, husband and wife, they're going through the maritals right now, and we're fussy with each other and creating drama. And then my sister is kind of like on the side of the girl, and my brother-in-law is on the side of the boy. So then they basically, like, this became like a vicarious fight where they were defending the actions or whatever of their particular team. And so then it bled into making them get very fussy with each other. And then my mom is, you know, the older you get, you just don't, you give less and less of a crap. So she kind of took some hot takes about some issues that she didn't need to take issues with, and unrelated to that, and offended the in-laws, and so then the in-laws are leaving in a thinly veiled huff. Oops, I didn't want that actually. So yeah, it ended up just being like slowly, one by one. So the in-laws got kind of ran off, and then I knew that was going to happen. I'm gonna have to use a heal here because these guys are getting after me. Yeah, so the in-laws were ran off. That was the first moment, and then the fighting people started peeling off, and then by then the damage was already done, and my sister and her husband were fussing at each other, and then like my family started peeling off. It basically was like one by one. I was trying to stay and like you know, bring some levity to the situation, but eventually everybody was just kind of like, all right, we're out. And whatever. At the end of it all, I had an hour. I knew I had to drive for an hour back home anyway. So, all in all, it was fine. It was fun. All right, so we're not getting rested XP. I think that dropped off a while back. But that really, also, that's not the point of what I wanted to do here. Sorry for getting sidetracked on my mission. That was just a long-winded explanation of why I didn't get a chance to do a lot of, like, groundwork in working my way through Dustwall and Swamp, which is I'm at right now. But that's a good segue for why am I doing this? So what is it? So what I'm going to do right now is with each expansion, I'm going to talk about something or things that I think are going to be interesting to me. What do I care about? What am I getting out of this other than the joy of just doing it for its own self or whatever? So for Classic, I think that because there's really a lot I could say here because I've never played through Classic at a high level. There are a lot of pieces that I don't know why I interrupted that. There's a lot of pieces that I can argue that I'm really curious about. So first of all the rating stuff. Now look, see, Uthok the Wise stays friendly no matter what you do, so you can never kill those guys as quest givers. Also notice we're getting a lot of silk. Like, we're going to stack up to where that's going to fill our inventory so much. I actually think there might be some value, especially since it's probably a little unlikely that we finish the entire grind today. I'd like to finish most of it, but in going and turning in, like, we have 1, 2, 3. We already have enough to turn in 2 quests for silk right now. So if you look at Thunder Bluff, we do need silk in Thunder Bluff, so that's one we could go to. But it might be better to just hearth to Orgrimmar. If I can make it last, I do need silk in... I need silk and wool for the trolls, and I need silk in both. Wool, we are close. We need 8 pieces of wool. I don't know if these guys will ever drop wool. I'll have to keep an eye out and just see. We're also going very slow on the rep. It's just, that's why it takes so long. We are right now not even our first 1,000 in. After this kill, we'll be over 600. So we are a 1/6 of the way through, or a 1/5. After this kill would be 20% of the way to getting up to neutral, which means we are 10% of this big grind. Alright, so in Classic, because of that, there's all kinds of things. Like, I want to know I know the gist of the Prester quest line. I want to experience the whole thing. I want to see basically the Onyxia quest line. I'm really looking forward to that. As much of the Nax kind of pre-expansion for Burning Crusade, because I've played through Nax once it was redone as part of Wrath of the Lich King. So there is some Nax that I'm interested in. I don't know. I don't think Karazhan is a classic raid, but that would be cool too. How any part of Karazhan actually we can do. I've never ever killed the dragons of the nightmare or whatever, the ones that appear around the world through the portals. Those portals are defunct, so they've always just been this interesting oddity to me. I'm looking forward to doing that with you guys. I have done Blackrock Depths and stuff like that, but again, only coming back and visiting them when I can, like, solo clear them. I have done those dungeons, naturally. But I think only maybe once or twice ever, and that's still in retail, but some parts of the dungeons haven't changed a lot. So just using like looking for group. I am so excited to do a follower dungeon. But that's getting ahead of myself. I have done those, but I mean with you all. So those are some of the big beats, but I think with Classic there's just so much I don't even know. You know, like there's certain things we could almost go zone by zone after what we've covered so far. So we've basically done Scarlet Monastery. I forgot I don't want to do that on these guys. Like a waste. Come on. Dang it. That's the exact opposite of what I wanted to happen. Don't want it. Say I want to be able to pull out of that range. Okay, so now I don't want to fight those guys quite yet, because my mana is in bad shape right now. Alright, fine. I'll drop a mana totem and go after this and just see what happens. Alright, so yeah, Classic is, I think, unique in that. I can really look at a lot of different things. Razorfin down in Scarlet Monastery, I've done that in the dry run, and I think I've already done most of it with you guys, so there is some quest stuff talking about that might be kind of interesting, but not really. That's not on my to-do list, per se. Okay, so when we cover Alterac Mountains, there are some fun quest lines to think about for sure. Here's another. Go ahead and drop another one of these. Yeah, so all of the elites that go along. Also, with the seeing if we can confirm the Syndicate Assassins questline. That's probably the thing I'm most excited for when we get that. That's the next zone that we're going to do. Okay, then with Arathi Highlands, it is going to be nice to be able to do the elite quests that come in Arathi Highlands in a non-OCD manner. Because when I do an OCD, I basically do one quest at a time. And it makes it so painful. That was a particular... So being able to lump all those together and do those at a much faster clip is going to be useful. It's going to be fun. And doing the princess questline, the Mizrael or whatever, that will be good to do together. Okay, Swamp of Sorrows, that's nice because of the discussions we'll get to have about how it connects to Warcraft Orcs and Humans. That'd be cool. The Badlands and everything leading up to Uldaman, again, it will be neat to do these quests in a way that's kind of more organic than what I did, where we can go into Uldaman, and then plus there are some really cool Uldaman quests at the end where you get a lot of lore from the Discs of Norgannon that ultimately will lead us into like touching on what is Uldum, and that's going to be cool too. So oh, look at that, just crushed it. So I'm not going to throw things away. We have 5 more inventory spots. I am going to... I don't think I've seen any wool drop. Oh, we have had 2 pieces of wool drop. So actually I would like to wait until we get to 60, 6 more total pieces of wool. So I need to keep an eye open for wool. Wool is actually at a premium right now. Alright, and then Duskwallow Marsh is what I'm currently doing, so I do think there are some fun chains. It's also that gets us into the beginnings. Well, we get to see the relationship between Theramore, and that's fun. That's such an interesting, cool zone. From the World of Warcraft 3 side of things, it's got a lot of nice conflict between the ogres and Brackenwall Village, and I'm still barely just experiencing it myself. Stranglethorn Vale is very, very fun. Very cool zone, so there is going to be a grinding element, but getting to do the Green Hills of Stranglethorn questline is going to be enjoyable. All of the hunting, it's been a long time since I've done it. I just really like that zone. So doing it 2 times in a row with Alliance and Horde, that's going to be... It's just been so long since I've done it, and then just kind of feeling that out. I can't remember. It's been so long that for some of those zones, like, that one changes a lot. They all change a lot, so one of the, I guess, things that kind of goes without saying is also all of these are going to be setting the table for the contrasts that we get to look at between when Cataclysm changes it all and when we play it in retail. Now, you know, I do have... I don't know how we're going to handle... I'm not sure how we're going to handle some of our professions in Burning Crusade. Because a lot of them are tied into making sure you have the classic professions all taken care of and leveled up, and then you can get some of the recipes. So I don't know if that's going to harm us some, particularly if we go the route of like engineering. I know it wants you to be like a gnomish or goblin engineer. So we have to be careful about how we kind of map things out. Where are we at with rep? See, since I can't hover, we're over 1,000. We're almost at 1,100, so we're getting there. Just grinding away. Okay, so we are a third of the way, a little bit more, into getting up to neutral. Now, this is... The major downside is we are destroying our reputation with the Gelkis. They're hostile and about to go into hated. They don't like us at all. This is an ultimate betrayal. We helped them all the way up into making them feel. We killed the Khan of all of the other tribes, essentially in their name, and then we just turn and decimate their ranks. We just turn on them and kill their whole tribe. We just wipe them out completely. We are the ultimate Centaur champion. Alright, so Hinterlands is a very cool quest line, zone, a lot of cool things. I haven't done it in a really long time. And so everything that goes along with that, the animal hunting, the elites that you get to do there, the troll quests, there's a lot of things to be excited about that I'm interested in going back and doing. And from the Alliance side, like working with the Wildhammer Dwarves, now that I have a deeper appreciation for who the Wildhammer Dwarves are, which over the past, you know, since the inception of this show, I've learned a lot more about that, which before they were like, oh, those are the guys from Warcraft 2, and I have a much better understanding. Now, Tanaris, I actually feel Tanaris is one of the few examples of a zone that is less interesting now than it is in retail, and I might be wrong. So I guess that would be my first thing that I'm most interested in is it actually worse? Is it cool? What types of quests do we get into? Is there like Silithus type quests? Is it troll focused? Because I know there's Zul'Farrak in there. You know, how are these desert quests? So it's really, that one's more of a curiosity. Is there anything to do with the Cavern of Time? Does that still exist in any capacity? A Jade Serpent Blade. That's cool. But unfortunately, I cannot do anything with that. 94 speed. Ugh. What's our... Okay, we still have 4 spots. I don't know if that Jade Serpent... When we do go back to town, we'll have to take a peeky poo and see, is that something worth selling on the auction house? Do people care about that? I mean, if you look at the stats, it is a... Oh, it's a one-handed sword, 4 strength, 4 agility. Bind on equip. Requires level 30. So, I think we'd have to look and see, when we do some traveling, is the Jade Serpent Blade any good? Does it matter? Should I just vendor it? Because, like, I'm not going to go through the effort of monitoring the auction house for 2 gold or whatever. And I could send it to my Horde blacksmith. The other option would be we could get it over to Callie. I mean, not Callie. That's a throwback. To Glee Contessa by going to the neutral auction house. But I would have to... We'd have to funnel it over to one of my wife's account on Alliance, and then have her, I guess, mail it. Which we could do that. We're going to have to do that kind of thing when we start messing around with the Moonblade. So. Alright, Searing Gorge. Now this is all pre-Blackrock Mountain. So I am looking to see what kind of callbacks do they have to the to Warcraft 2 and Warcraft Orcs and Humans. And just doing the whole thing to get attunement to Blackrock Mountain and Blackrock Depths and Blackrock Spire and all that stuff. I don't know how that works because I've never played, or if I have, it's been so long, I don't even remember what getting attunement is like. So this is going to be a new experience for me. So I am really looking forward to doing attunement. I don't do that. I'm not a classic endgamer guy, and even when we do, I feel like I'm a fraud. Because when we finally do get to the end game, like, I don't really care. I'm only doing it for the show and for the quest. I don't actually care about min-maxing my character or being a super raider or anything like that. Okay, time to... No, let's eat at least one of these to make our spirit come up a pinch. Okay, so where are we at? We're 5 kills away from being halfway, because we're at 1400. Feralus. I do like Feralus as a zone, but I can't even remember doing Feralus. I can't remember doing it outside of, like, retail. Now, I want to pause here and look at some of the dungeons. So once we finish Razorfen down in the Cathedral, well, Uldaman will come right organically when we're in there with Badlands. The next dungeon is Zul'Farrak, so even though we're going to pass the Sunken Temple, we won't be doing the Sunken Temple while we're in that zone. We won't be doing it until later on. So we're going to, even though it's in Swamp of Sorrows, we're not going to do it. The next dungeon we'll do is when we finally finish Tanaris, we'll do Zul'Farrak. And then, if by that time, and I'm sure we will be, if we are in around level 50 in that ballpark, and again, I'm sure we will be because I'm already level 48, and I'm just starting Duskwallow Swamp, which means that's where we're going to be. We're going to be right around there too. So by the time we actually get to Tanaris, so from Duskwallow Swamp, that still leaves Stranglethorn Vale, Hinterlands, and completing all of Tanaris. I'm sure we'll be at least around level 50. And that means we can finally turn to Maraudon. Now, Maraudon, what am I looking forward to there? I don't think that dungeon has changed a lot in terms of, like, how they run it in retail. I think it's similar. So maybe the quests are different, but the experience of doing the dungeon is less to me than it is all the quests and the unlocks. Like, how does that look? Also, that's when we can finally get back to real lore. The patch where Maraudon was introduced, which is patch 2, basically, because we're in release patch 1 still. That also means when we do that, we'll be able to look at anything related to the Gurubashi Arena. So we could go try that once for fun, even though I am not excited about that. That's something I might just dip my toes in and get my butt handed to me. Also, it's not like we're going to be level 60 or anything. But we can also do Christmas, anything related to Christmas. So what I'll probably do, I think, because it might be actually Christmas by the time we do that. I might do the quests related to the holidays if we can get to that spot by actual Christmas. Now that's a tall ask because that gives us about 2.5 months to get all the way through. Oh, I mean, we're behind on this. Not behind, but like we still have quite a few zones to do. We have Alterac Mountains, Arathi Highlands, Swamposaurus, Badlands, Dire, Duskwallow Marsh, Stranglethorn Vale, Hinterlands, and Tanaris. We have all that to do. I don't think it's going to happen in time. But we might, like, pre-do it and just say, you know what, screw it, we're going to start with Christmas anyway, because I want to finish this over the course of the next year, for sure. And probably sooner. So, I think maybe Christmas might be a good time, since that was the first holiday they introduced. It might be a good time for us to start our holiday journey through Classic at that point in time. So even though it's going to be slightly asynchronous, since we're tied to the time of the year and we can't shape it around our life, we might have to be a little bit flexible and do the holiday quests. Which I'm okay with, because by then, you know, if we're not on it, we're going to be super, super close to it. And we might just, if there's any lore or stories tied to it, and there might be, we'll just catch those on the back end in the natural order of things. But Maraudon, I am, you know, I'm interested in the lore, really, more than anything else. Unlocking our ability to do more lore. Okay, and then Sunken Temple comes in. Now, so at that point, Sunken Temple's around a level 55 for the final thing. So if we're in the 50s, going back and hitting up Sunken Temple at that point is also fine. I have it listed on my list to do it later. I hate just aggroed on. That's what I get for being a turd and getting too distracted. It also slows down my kill count. So I have us doing Searing Gorge and then Feralus, and then doing Maraudon, even though Feralus is the land of Dire Maul. I have us doing Maraudon there. And then when we get to Felwood again, Felwood, I can't remember ever questing in Felwood. I can't remember what it's like outside of Classic. It's been too long. Ajara, I feel like when I did the Ajara, I don't remember questing there at all. So that's either a really quick short zone, or I did not do it a good service, or I don't know. So Ajara, I'm really looking forward to doing because I'm like a blank slate on what happens there. Ungoro Crater, I think, is cool. I do remember that a lot. There's a lot of, you know, it's a fun zone with the dinosaurs and everything involved, and there's also some cool, like, watchers and ties to the Titans and stuff like that. So it's fun from a lore perspective. So just in terms of contributing to the overall lore of the game, it's interesting, but I feel like I also remember that one more, and there's a lot of, like, historic, like, getting your raptor mount kind of quest lines that still exist in the game that I've done. So I'm not as bullish on, like, feeling like I don't know a lot what happens there. Blasted Lands, I don't... Questing in the Blasted Lands, not in retail... I mean, in retail, that's another one where I don't know if I'd go so far as to say I'm a blank slate. Those are some good healer pants. We still have 3 spots. They're not going to sell for a lot for vendor, but I also see nobody in, like, my guild chat today. It's just quiet. Just noticed that. It's not that early. It's a Saturday morning, but things are kind of dead. Call me if you're tired. If you tired doing questing, call me for service boost level able to ZG and all boost. I'm a little bit of a snob when it comes to that. You sound like a dum-dum. I'm all, you know, I make mistakes and typos in my typing all the time, but you sound like a dum-dum. Alright, where are we at? We are at 1830, so essentially 1820. Getting there, getting there, getting there. Slowly but surely. And you know, what we have after this is... How are we? I've only gained 1 more wool since we last talked. That's annoying. So we still need 5 wool. Can I get it in the time? I don't know, I hope so. Because I want to get that crap out of my inventory. Who do we still need to give it to? So, maybe a lot. Okay, we don't need it in Thunder Bluff. That's good. In Orgrimmar, we do need to give it to the trolls. We're good on the orcs. What about in... And we still need to give it to the undead. So we've done half of it. Will we get more over time? I don't know. I hope so. These dungeons are usually pretty solid. And whatever. End of this world, we'll go back to grind it here. And we're getting some right now. We are getting some. Not a ton, but I have hope that we can at least knock one of those out, which will buy us some inventory spots. Alright, so let's finish talking about Classic. Yeah, Blasted Lands, followed up by the Sunken Temple. Sunken Temple's a cool storyline. I'm looking forward to that. And like I said, I'm kind of a blank slate on Blasted Lands. Then if you get into... I'm looking forward to doing Eastern and Western Plague Lands. They've got some really cool storylines. And again, it's another one of those things where those are so... You're starting to get into endgame, and it's been so long. I don't really remember doing them in Classic. Burning Steps, same thing. I'm a total blank slate on that. I don't I don't really remember much at all. So those are all just, I'm looking forward to experiencing and being in game with it all. And then Winter Spring. I mean, Winter Spring, I kind of feel like in the same bucket that I have Ungoro Crater. It's an interesting zone. There's the whole killing of the furbolgs. We might have some grinding to do there if there's quests tied to it. Probably is. I know there's rep. So, like we're doing right now, there might be a rep grind that we have to do. There is, if you are interested in doing the achievements. There's no achievements here, but... And I don't know what we're going to do about achievements on World of War when we get to retail. I'm not sure. Because I have, like, all of them. Especially for Classic. I just have the majority. So there could be... It could be something I do as a side thing if I end up having to kill time. It could be something I add onto the Patreon, by the way, if you want to support me. On Patreon, I should probably do this at the top or bottom of the show. But yeah, go out there and check out the work I do on that. We got a wool to 16. Lore of Assassin's Creed is a project I'm working on over there, and we're getting pretty close to finishing the first game, so check that out. It's pretty cool. Love to have you. Alright, and I think that's about it. Silithus, yeah, Silithus is Silithus. I don't think it's changed much over the years. It would be cool for me to see it. What would be really cool would be to see it in a world where we're like pre the gates of Encourage opening. I just don't think we're in that world. I have one inventory spot. So there's not a lot I can do about getting back there, but how much of that is daily quest, you know, how much of it is, will there be a grind involved? I'm just more curious into how that's going to shape up. And then the rest of it's all, like, raid stuff. We have Blackrock Spire upper and lower and Blackrock Depths. I'm actually, I would say, less excited than I am worried about doing those. Scholomance and less so. And the two versions of Stratholme, the live and the undead version, also not really worried about doing those. Those can be tricky dungeons. Dire Maul will also be good because of the phasing. And then, of course, all of the raids. Again, I'm more nervous, I would say, because I'm worried about that being a progress stopper on the show. And we might be folding in because, like, when we do those, because of the need to schedule. So probably by the time we get there, it'll be, hey, you know, we're doing the side lore as we work our way up to doing those raids. So we're going to just check it out. But that takes us to the patches in the game too, because there's things that aren't tied to this that I haven't mentioned. So yeah, there are 12 total patches that came out, 12 big waves. Broken down into 6 phases. So each 2 patches essentially makes up a phase in the Classic, the over 2-year cycle that made up Classic. We're still dealing with patch 1. We are still in the middle of phase 1. We haven't even reached the halfway point of phase 1 yet, because everything we're doing you could have technically went and did. I don't know why I felt the need to blast this guy and waste my magic points. And like I said, the second half of it is when we finally get to Maraudon and Christmas and looking at the Gurubashi Arena. Maybe Onyxia had already began in the second patch. I'm not sure. When we get to phase 2, that's where Dire Maul opens up, and so we'll get some more lore there. We'll also get to look at Azure Ghosts and Lord Kazakh, so a couple world bosses begin. So we'll get a chance to go fight those. We will go find them. We'll find groups. We'll take them again. That might take some scheduling. We're going to do that. It'll be fun. And the second half of Phase 2, well, really, within Phase 2, is the Epic Quests. Now, I don't know if they all appeared, if it was just Epic Priest and Hunter, if Epic Priest and Hunter were the first, but basically some Epic Weapon Quests began to appear. And PvP opened up in the world. That was all happening within Phase 2. So the real kicker for Phase 2 was Dire Maul and a couple world bosses really helped spread the game out. Now when Phase 3 began, the biggest thing that was really technically kind of end of Phase 2 but really kicking Phase 3 off was the fact that PvP Battlegrounds opened up, Alterac Valley and Warsong Gulch. So just for funsies, we'll probably piss a bunch of people off and go do one match of Alterac Valley and one match of Warsong Gulch. Not even necessarily to completion, just to check out how it goes, what are some of the quests. We could hypothetically do the quests, but some of them are locked. Like if you look at that's not. Let's look at like Alterac Valley. So if you look at, like, there you go, Conquering Arathi Basin. If you look, we have a 29, 39, and 49. I don't know that you can pick those quests up. It says that they're available. I'm not sure that we can get the lower level ones anymore. I don't know how it works. If so, that might be something we grind out for a little bit of time. I'm not looking forward to it, but what do those even entail? Let's see.
Inventory is full.
Oh, we got full. We got 2 wool cloth. I love that. We're at 18 now. And what was it that it wanted me to have? An interlaced belt. So what can I throw away? I guess it's kind of silly to hold on to this Nightcrawler. That's... Yeah, I can't justify keeping a bag spot open for that. Alright, so now we've got to take a pause and run back to the town because I want to sell some of this stuff. When I would like to... Remember, I'm gonna... Well, if we can get 2 more wool, we're gonna hearth back to Orgrimmar. Where are we at with our record time? We're just at an hour, so we're doing plenty fine on time. So coming in at an hour, we are... Oh, for God's sake, I can't look. We have gained almost 3,000. So it's definitely doable to get the rep today. It's going to depend. Alright, so let's get back to talking about what we were talking about. I don't really want to do those quests. If there's no discernible difference in the Alterac Valley quests, I don't necessarily know that we need to complete them all. It says, bring marks of honor. So, I'm guessing there's also going to be one for 59 as well, and maybe even one for level 60. So there's going to be 5... Well, Arathi Basin didn't open, but if you also open one tier, there's going to be 6 to 7 quests for both. How do you get a Mark of Honor? Do you just get it from making a kill? Well, then fine. We can knock those quests out quickly. Do you need it for just completing? So I think maybe we need to also figure out how the heck do you get a Mark of Honor? Because if I have to get it from completing one, then what you're saying is, what, I have to do 3? And then do you have to get it from winning one? Now you're talking probably more than what you want. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and sell all these various things. Let's look at the Jade Serpent Blade before we decide whether I wait and save that for auctioning or not. So, the comments, do I have any? Any rogue steps into a pair of these at 30. Perfect bridging swords. Still. So a lot of people are like, these are good. So let's look at JP Worgen. What does old JP Worgen have to say? So this is, what's it called? Jade Serpent Blade? Jade Serpent Blade. Well, the plans on Pagel sell for 5 gold. Yeah. So, again, that's what I have. I'm not making them. So, if we sell it on Horde, they sell for 38 gold-ish. I'm not going to play that game, so I don't care. And I don't care enough to send it over to my girl. So I'm going to... I'll put it in the chat. Or I could actually... I'll put it in the guild. I'll just... At least I'll keep it in the guild. We are so overflowing with mats. What about these Naga scales? Let's look at what the heck the Naga scales do for us, and do I have a recipe that uses them? Oops, it's a reagent just for Azure Shoulders, which is a tailoring thing. So I'm not a tailor. So Naga scales can sell. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 2 full silks we can do now. That's good. Megaboss says his warrior will use it. Because I'll mail it to... I don't mind. I'll mail it to their warrior. Who cares? We are getting a little bit of gold. I think we've gained... It says in this session... In this particular session, we've earned 3.5. Let's look and see where we are, too, with the silk. Because we can start... There's no point in making the silk. I mean, there's no point in hoarding it. We don't need to. Haha, hoard it anymore. Okay, so we definitely need 1 silk. And there's a second silk. 3rd silk. So we do need all of our silk here still. Juggernaut. Juggernaut what? Nope. Let's see if I can find it in the whole guild list of everybody in the guild. Alphabetically? Yeah, can you put me in alphabetically, bro? Isn't there a way? Alright, I'm trying to scan. I don't even know how this is freaking organized. Yikes. There we go. Roster, find name. There we go. I don't see no Juggernaut. Is it not in the guild? Or is it spelled weird? And I can't spell. So I'm sitting here talking about I do a semicolon. I spell guild wrong. I don't see Juggernaut in guild roster. I see Jumbo Tack. Yeah, don't see it. Well, it's probably whatever Mega Bosses is, so I guess I can go to there. That's actually probably how I should figure that out. Mancrick. Okay, so Juggernaut, Mancrick. Okay. And, oh, Juggernaut with 2 T's. There we go. Jugger... Nah. Okay. Bam. And I cannot type today. So some major dyslexia going on. Alright, so we're going to go back out now and keep on fighting. We do need all the silk that we can get. Again, now we have some... It took us a while to fill up that bag space, so... It is, They're calling me Gleek, which is kind of weird. It makes me think of being, like, in middle school and people are talking about gleeking. Where you, like, move your jaw back and make, like, a little like, Dilophosaurus spittle stream shootout. Yeah, I just want that wool, so at least we can knock that off of the cluster, because like I said, we needed 2 wool, right? Yeah, I'm just terrible about this, because we did it for our... Yeah, we need the trolls, still need the wool, and I can't believe our Tauren also need silk still. So we've done, like, no silk at all. Did we do silk over in Undercity? Do I have any silk done? I do any good things for myself when it comes to that? No, I've done nothing for the old undead. Alright, here we go. Back to killing. We must kill. We must kill. Okay. How are we on rep now that we're resuming our killing journey? Basically 2,280, so 720 kills, so 36 kills needed. Make that 35, and that's just to get to... This is about where we left off. This is about where we started when we wanted to get from hostile to unfriendly. Or from yeah. So, which we got there, and now we're working on... We're wrapping up unfriendly, and we're about to have the old Magrum become neutral, which is good. Then what we really need, then we just have to actually, then it's like we're on that real quest again from the start. So everything right now has been the journey to undo what we did. And I actually think you don't start at like 0 rep, but maybe you do. But I don't think you do. You might start somewhere in the middle of neutral. I kind of think maybe you do. Maybe you start, you know, halfway in or at 2,000. I really think it's only around 1,000 or so rep that you need to get there, but I'm not 100% sure. Alright, so to keep talking about what we were talking about Classic, because, I mean, and it does seem like we're spending an inordinate amount of time on Classic. Ooh. Mail belt. Remember, we wear mail now. So, this is, oof, only a 9.0 This is far worse belt than what we have on the Belt of Corruption. So it's a 9 point only compared to an 18 point. It's just a bad belt. So nothing good. All right. So after doing PvP, which is kind of Phase 3, the other part of Phase 3 is the Blackwing Lair Raid and the Darkmoon Fair. Darkmoon Fair, since it's monthly, we can probably wait until we actually get, or maybe it's bi-monthly, I can't remember how it works. It's monthly in retail. And we will do those quests too, but we can kind of wait probably until we actually hit that level of the patch. Now, once we, like, if you think about it, okay, so we do Maraudon, boom, that opens up a bunch of lore for us. And that opens up Christmas, and really all the holidays in my mind are going to be fair game at that point. And then we're going to be on another drought until we can unlock Dire Maul. And Dire Maul, based on the way I have it stretched out, that's an end game. That's a level 60 dungeon. So it'll have to wait until we get to level 60, but we can kind of weave it in with any of our stuff that we feel like. But we need to at least finish all the other dungeons first. Which once we get Sunken Temple done, it's kind of fair game a little bit. But I would say maybe Dire Maul would be the first one we do right after that. So as long as we feel like after we do Sunken Temple, if I feel like we're doing fine and we are at least level 60, then we'll go start making some Dire Maul runs. And that will open up that, and then we can also go hunt around for Azure Ghost and Lord Kazakh. Okay, then the epic quests, well, those are going to be tied to their respective dungeons, I believe. All of them seem to be like that. So we will cover those at level 60, and then we will do the ones that we can. They're not very heavy on the lore, and some of them require quite a bit of grinding. And then, like I said, the PvP, that is what it is. We'll just do that at least once, so we can feel it out, and maybe we'll be completionists and grind it all out, and, you know, maybe we will. We'll end up spending a few weeks just doing PvP, which would suck for me. But we might. Okay. Then that's going to open up. All of that, though, is like, as soon as we hit Dire Maul, we can start knocking these things out. We don't have to wait. And when we hit Blackwing Lair, well, that's a raid, and we probably will end up waiting at least until we finish the dungeons in the game. And until we do Blackwing Lair, you know. I did not like the way he was running. Okay, and then Phase 4 will begin with Arathi Basin, the Stranglethorn Fishing Contest, which I think that's once a month. We will at least try to compete in it on one of our shows, and I'll time my life. I can't say that we're gonna win, and we will compete. And there's so much RNG about the quest dropping, and by then we're gonna be so deep in this project. I don't know that I'm gonna try to win find every rare fish that you can find, and then interlaced cowl, cloth helmet. I don't know, we'll see. Because there's a couple for, like, rare fish that you can find. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 to 4 rare fish that technically are tied to a quest. And I hate that for us, because the RNG could be such... It's unrealistic for us to really try that, because the RNG is such that it could be years. We'll start doing some heavy research. If it really is something that we can knock out with a few weeks of grinding, it might be something I consider doing. If it's something that really there's no guarantee that you can ever do it, like people are like, yeah, I've been working on this since Classic came out, every opportunity, and I don't know, we'll have to research it. It's kind of like farming for Invincible or whatever. Like, there's no guarantee. You could have been farming for it for the past 16 years, and there's no guarantee that you would get it. So obviously something like that we're not going to do. We're not going to hold the show up over something like that. Might we attempt to do some of these things? Sure. Alright, so... And that's also the raids Grub will be doing there, so hopefully we'll have done some of the other raids in the interim. As we do Phase 4. Now, all of these things will... And then the Dragons of Nightmare come out at the same time as Silithus does at the end of Phase 4. So then when we start to go hunt those dragons down, basically all of that stuff will then wait until we hit Silithus. Silithus opens up, our final zone opens up at the end of Phase 4, which is the 8th patch. That will be cool to do, and I'm really looking forward to fighting those dragons. When Phase 5 starts, that's the Gates of Ahn'Qiraj questline. We can't really experience that anymore. It's impossible, because it's like a world first kind of thing. So the only thing we can really do is we can cover it, we can talk about it, and then we can do as many of the quests are still available to us, which I'm still looking forward to seeing what that looks like. And then we do the raid, the Gates and Ruins of Ahn'Qiraj. Valentine's Day opens up at that point, like I said. Probably we will have already done those quests. We'll probably do that a little bit out of order. But we'll read the lore around it. And, the second half of Phase 5, that's it. Phase 5 was all focused on opening Ahn'Qiraj. There was not really anything else that came out of that. Phase 6 is the final phase, and again with Naxxramas. Naxxramas is very hard to get into. You need to be like uber geared to have someone allow you into Nax. Maybe we can get someone to tag along, help us. I don't know if there's attunement quests and all of that stuff. So there will be things we will have worked on. And that's all that Phase 6 is. That's that final patch that comes at the end, but it's like tweaks and stuff. And by then we will begin to start turning our gaze. I wouldn't be surprised if while we're working on some of these last patches, we've also turned our gaze and started working on some of the other retail walkthrough things. So that brings us to our first expansion. So when we get to retail and we start looking at using the retail kind of model to do the expansions. Oh, the mana's out. Let's eat one of these. Okay, we're down to 1. That'll buy us a bag space too. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Okay, we have 3 and we're working on our 4th set. We almost have 3 full sets. So we can almost do all of the silk required, which is cool. That's one good thing this is doing for us. It's also helping us stock up on some potions and stuff. And we'll utilize those when we're trying to do the con line. Go 2 more silk, love it. Yeah, so the experience is a little bit different when you go into retail to do these new zones. I think that you can kind of... I think you basically choose, do you want to start in your character? At least I haven't done it in a little bit. I don't know how it looks with War Within. The only new characters I've started since War Within were dragons, evokers, and because they're kind of like this elite race class combo, you kind of are stuck. I don't remember what my options were, but the option I chose was to start with the evoker storyline in Dragonflight and start working through that. But you do start low. I think you start at level 10 instead of just starting at level 1. So there is that piece. I might be wrong there, too. But because of that starting zone, I want us to start in the starting zones of the Draenei and the Blood Elves, and I want to create a Draenei and Blood Elf. So one, I'm looking forward to doing those zones. They will be zones I haven't done in a while, and they are fun. I've done them in retail before, so as we do many of these other expansions, I don't have the same ability, like I don't have the same drive for like, oh, I don't know what these are. I've done a lot of Burning Crusade. Now, I've never played any Burning Crusade since reading all of the lore with you guys. So I think I'll have a new appreciation for the Outland, for the creatures in the Outland, for how it's going to tie into Warlords of Draenor in the future, which we'll talk about when we get to that expansion. Yeah, you just get silk all the time. There are some elements that I don't like. There's some really grindy stuff. I do like the idea of doing it without focusing on achievements. Yeah, we did it. Alright, we are now neutral. Whew. Okay, so how long did that take us to get through that? We are... Let's close this because I don't care about that. We are at an hour and 25 it took us to get. We're a little more than halfway. So... we'll keep the grind going. We have 3,000 to go. What we're going to do is we're going to grind it out until this bag is full, as long as that's at 20, which we are one wool cloth away from having that be the deal. And then at that point, we're going to go back to Orgrimmar and actually Thunderbluff also. We're going to go back to some of these places. We're going to Hearth to Orgrimmar. We're going to hit Thunderbluff up on the way back. And we're going to work on turning in some of these cloth quests so we can kind of see them. The Undercity will be the one I saved for last. Because we still... We need the... We still need all of the cloth quests for the Undercity. When it go, I haven't liked going down in here as much because you fight so many more of the rock ones, and I actually find them more annoying to fight. Even though you do get double rep or whatever from them, they're just more annoying to fight. Oh, I didn't repair when we were at down last time. I would like us... I mean, leveling up doesn't matter because it's an odd level, so we don't need to level up. I'm not going to tie anything to that right now. But we're at 84%. So we are slowly grinding, that's for sure. At 100 XP a pop, we need 14,600. So there's a pretty solid chance that... Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that was a fat crit. Fat, juicy crit. Our level is not any cool right now because we're just getting our final point of the totem exchange. Got some sweet nectar. That's good. She needed to get some restock on that. Yeah, so what is it that I'm looking forward to then? That's a good question about Burning Crusade. Well, one, that will be our first crack into retail. So there's going to be this whole new novel experience. We also have to really work on what are we going to do? What do these, like, how are we going to map everything out? And we can kind of start thinking about some of that right now. So, as far as all the classes and races and everything go, well, there are the original 8. So there are 8 total classes that are going to get us through the game. So making 8 pathways... Well, really 4 pathways through the leveling up experience is how we can tackle those original 8. Because we want to level up, we want to max out one of every race, and we definitely want one of every class. We're going to need it all when we get to Legion. Some of them don't go back and get retconned in, but we can kind of look and see how that goes. So if we plan, and there's more than enough classic style quests when you're doing Cataclysm to level up those 8 people. So, and there are more races than there are classes. You know, so for instance, when we start Burning Crusade, I definitely want to make us a Blood Elf for our Horde, because I want to start in the Blood Elf zone, and that's a new race for us. And we're gonna definitely make a Draenei, so that's gonna be our 2 character classes to get us through that. I mean, our 2 character races. Then we just kind of have to think about what classes do we want to go along with that. There are no new classes that were introduced, but there were these new things where you could be a shaman, and you could be a paladin for the first time on the faction. So even though we're running a shaman paladin combo right now, it might be fun to do it again just to switch the factions and see kind of how that goes. We'll kind of cross that bridge when we get there, because basically everything can be everything now. So it would be nice to also have one of each, you know, like have an alliance rogue and a Horde rogue, yada yada yada. But that's less important than getting one of each to start in the beginning. Okay, then we'll come into burning the North Red. Okay, so first of all let's think about how many total classes there are, not counting Evoker. Evoker doesn't count because I don't work. It does count. We will eventually make one, but they don't have a quest line in Legion. Because this is all about, to be a true completionist, we need to do all of the class hall quests when we get to Legion. Legion's going to be a bottleneck for us because of that. So we need to do Warrior, that's 1. Paladin, that's 2. Death Knight is 3. There should be Death Knight class hall quests, yep. Okay, that's all the plate we have. Those 3. Then for male, Evoker, like I said, doesn't count. So that's going to leave Shaman, which is 4. Hunter, which is 5. Okay. And then we get into Leather, we need Druid, which is 6. We need Rogue, which is 7. We need Monk, which is 8. We need Demon Hunter, which is 9. What am I forgetting? Might be it. Okay. And then for Clothies, we're going to need the Warlock, the Priest, and the Mage. That gets us up to 12 classes. And I think that tracks, right? Because we have, what, 9? What are the... I think we have 9 classes in Classic. You have Paladin, Warrior. You have Hunter, Shaman. You have... Druid, Rogue. Yep, that's 6. And then you have you have Warlock, Mage, Priest. So yeah, so there's 9 to start. Then Burning Crusade, no new classes, it was 2 new races. And then the 10th class, the Death Knight, came out with no new races for Wrath of the Lich King. And then when Cataclysm came out, you gained 2 new races, no classes. So you gained Goblin and Worgen. So we're still sitting at 10. Then Mists of Pandaria came out, and that gave you a new class and race. Because you got the Panda, but you got Monk, so we're up to 11. Then Warlords of Draenor came out. Did you get anything? I don't think so. I don't think Warlords of Draenor gave you another reason why Warlords of Draenor sucked, but you got nothing new. After that is Legion, where you got Demon Hunters. So that was the 12th class. Then BFA, you gained a slew of new races, but none of, like, they were all kind of like race flavors. Like the Void Elves and the Lightforged Draenei and the Highborn, and Mechanomes and stuff like that. Which we are, again, we're going to make all of those too. But that's still leaving us at 12 classes. And Shadowlands, I don't think gave us anything either. Shadowlands gave us the level squish. That was the big new thing. And more race class combos. And then with Dragonflight, we did get the Drakthir Evokers. But Evokers are not part of what I have to worry about. So we can make Drakthir do some of these other classes if we feel like, and not be an Evoker. If they even can. I don't even know. Can you be a Drak... I don't know if you can. I haven't tried that. So Drakthir might just be Evokers. That's it. Alright, so that means we have 12 things we need to care for by Legion. 12 classes. Alright, well, how many expansions do we have? We have Classic, which I just said it's very realistic to plan 4. We could get 4 characters. We can get 4 classes of the 12 through Classic. Then 2 more through Burning Crusade. So that's 6. And then we could hypothetically get 2 more through Wrath of the Lich King. That's 8. Then through the Cataclysm part of questing, we can get 2 more. That's 10. Ooh, I wasn't paying attention. And then Miss Pandaria, you could get 2 more. That's the 12 you need right there. And then Warlords of Draenei could buy us 2 more. So we actually have 2 burners. Which is actually super, super good. Because then that opens up Legion for us, which gives us 2 more. So we really have 4 burners. When I say burner, I mean like things where we can have duplicates. Well, where might we want those burners? Okay, well, in Wrath of the Lich King, having a burner class being able to do 2 Death Knights, so we can experience Death Knights from both factions. That's a good burner opportunity right there. Because of the class quest intro quest lines that go with it. So that's a burner. That would be one of the 4 burners we have. In Legion, doing the same thing with the Demon Hunters and giving us a burner there. That would be cool. And would introduce... yeah, so then we can play the Demon Hunter on both sides, regardless of which faction we want to do. So that's a second burner. If we take the classic experience in Cataclysm and we throw that out, and we just take 2 characters and run them through every freaking zone in the area, we could use up our other 2 burners. Now, we could also do Miss Pandaria. We could have a couple monks. But then, do we really want to run 2 Pandaren monks? Less bullish on that. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to handle that one, because I do kind of want to experience... When we do that, I do kind of want to experience 2 Panda. There's also the starting quest line for every zone. We're gonna kind of sort of need to do that. But that's okay, because we can sort of experience that. Yeah, you know what? I'm realizing there's more and more plan that I have to do here. So, for instance, like, you basically have to be each of the original 8 classic races to play their starting zone, because like you can't, for instance, you cannot do the Nomergon starting zone if you're not a gnome. The same might be said for the trolls. The other, you can't do the goblins unless you're a goblin. You can't do the worgans unless you're a worgen. So there are massive amount, there are big chunks of quests you can't do without actually going there. Now, the same might not be said for the other races, like the other main classic races, such as Orc, Dwarf, Tauren, Human, Night Elf, and Forsaken. You could probably do like we did this time. So that does mean, okay, we probably want to make a troll and a gnome to start our classic journey, but we do get to do a second batch of people. So we probably also want to do... Well, for when we're just running them through the classic part. So when we do Burning Crusade, we're gonna do that's kind of an easy one. We're gonna do a Blood Elf, and we're gonna do a Draenei. We're gonna start in their respective starting zones, and then shoot over right into the Burning Crusade. We're gonna stay there, do all of that. That experience will be smooth. I'm looking forward to running that, and to also, from a story perspective, better, you know, getting into Burning Crusade. Like, I just, when I say what am I looking forward to for the expansions, that's what I'm looking forward to. And we could say, let's say we do Shaman and Paladin. But I'm looking forward to tackling that with the new changes that have come from retail, seeing if anything has changed, but also just with a fresh eye on how I'm interacting with the game, and trying to not poo-poo Burning Crusade. Alright, so we're at 855. We're making progress. Almost to our first 1,000. What's our time on video? Hour 40. Yes, this has been quite a grind. You know what's sad is that we have to do this whole grind again when we do it on Lions. All right, so that gives us 2 races, 2 classes. Now there are a crap ton of races. I don't even know how we're going to handle all the races possible. Because let's think, how many races are there? Well, there's the original 8. So we start off at a disadvantage. Then you gain 2 more in Burning Crusade. We're up to 10. Gain no new races in Wrath. Cool. Cataclysm, you do 2 more, so you're up to 12. It's about a tie. Golden Scale. We got another blacksmithing. Golden Scale leggings. Now there's something to research. Okay. Have I hit my... I still haven't got that one last piece of wool. I was so, like, bullish on... Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's not happening. I want that before we go. Yeah, so we're at 12 and 12. Then, for Mists of Pandaria, we do gain 1 of each, so we're 13-13. And then Warlords of Draenor, we gain nothing. All good. Then when you hit Legion, when we at least come into that, you're just gaining the 1 extra class. Which puts us at 14... Wait. 9 classes, 10 classes. What? That puts us at 12, I guess. Right? I don't know. But no new races there still. So we are at 8 races to 10 to 12 with Cataclysm to 13 with the Panda. Nothing with Draenor. No new races with Legion. So we're at 13 total races. And then when BFA comes, I think you hit 8 more races. So then we jump up to 21. And then Shadowlands, nothing. And then you're at, when you add Dragonflight, that's 22. And I think, I'm pretty sure, I don't remember what the new race is. I know there's an Earthen race. Is there another one? Okay, so let's just see. I'm gonna at least look with the War Within. And what do we have here? The Earthen is the only one. Yeah, so it's there. It's kind of like the others where you can be Alliance or Horde if you're the Earthen. So that puts us to 23 total races by the end. And I think there are, if we did the math, yeah, there are 9 classes that it starts with. Then we hit a 10th, then 11th with the monks, 12th. Then I don't think there are any new classes until you get that when there are 13. So there's 13 total classes and 23 races. Yes. Because yeah, again, I keep losing my count on these things because there were 8 races, and 10, and none, then 12, and 13, and none in Legion, none in Shadowlands, none, yeah, 8 in BFA, so that brought us to 21, 22. So there's 23. 23 total races. And 13 total class. The point being is to get all the races, we pretty much are going to need to have one of every class on both factions. So we have just about enough to do that. We can kind of skim some. Like, there is...
Inventory is full.
Oh. Okay. What are we going to ditch? I guess I'm ditching a ham hock. Oh, I do have everything I need here. Great. Okay, so we're going to do it. We're now going to... So this is probably, I think this is a good, once we turn these in, this is going to be a good pausing point. So that leaves us with a little under 2,000 rep to grind and the quest chain itself for tomorrow. Which I think that's reasonable. Alright, so first let's go up. Well, actually first let's look at these plans. Golden scale. Golden scale leggings. Anything cool about them? Any comments? Very nice plate for a 29 Paladin Twink. Yeah, so nobody is really... I mean, we can look at the rep. They are okay, but yeah, you're a Paladin. They're Paladin pants. Golden scale. So they sell for... Like, yeah, what are we going to do? Sell it for gold? I don't care. I'm not. They might be okay, but I just don't care enough like that.
Greetings, traveler.
So we did no quests on this, so this is now going to allow us to at least open up the at least open up the quest book and be like, hey, we completed some quests today. Probably not even gonna. Actually, I'm not gonna even do the spreadsheet for it. But we haven't officially completed some today because we're gonna turn in for the Horde a donation of silk. Do we actually get any mage weave? We do have 13 mage weave, but I'm saving those mage weave. That's annoying. Alright, so we're going to turn in our donation of silk right here.
Greeting.
In these trying times, a simple donation of cloth can go a long way to help those less fortunate than ourselves. Cloth goes a long way to making garments and bandages, both important for the war effort. If you are interested in donating cloth pieces to the Orcs of Orgrimmar, I will gladly accept them and make sure you receive the proper recognition for doing so. For the Horde!
Okay.
Fight well, friend.
As with most of other fabrics, our stocks of silk are at an all-time low. Our stores are such that we'd only need 60 pieces of silk from you total. We should be able to reach our goal with the support of others. A benevolent gift such as silk, might I add, would certainly increase your local standing in the community. If you have the 60 pieces of silk cloth on you and are ready to donate them, I'm able to take them from you now.
Wonderful. We thank you for your generous donation, adventurer.
Cool, so I won't say no to the 1600 XP. You also gain 150 rep. Not a lot, but even more important to us, we're clearing out our inventory space. And we have 2 more we can turn in. So we're going to go now to the trolls, and we're going to give wool and silk. And now we have wool and silk turned in to the orcs. And we're going to go do wool and silk turned into the trolls. They'll be caught up. And wool is already done for the Tauren on the way. We're going to go right now also and turn in silk there. So that will be done. Dang it. We need to get up here. So then the only one that is kind of left out in the lurch is the Forsaken. They will have had no love from us so far, but we're already starting to work on them. We have 6. So we're 10% of the way, and that will be the final one. Will we get there in time? I don't know. That's a tough call. Will we get to 60? That's a tall ask. Maybe in the whole grand scheme of things, we might get to 60. I don't know. There she is. There she is.
You there. If you want to earn the respect of the Darkspear, then you can start by donating valuable resources for those in need. Textiles and bandages don't grow on trees, you know. Rather than cash in various cloth pieces you find adventuring, donate them. Doing so will earn you the recognition of the Darkspear. You be careful, man.
We are currently accepting donations for wool cloth. A donation of 60 pieces of wool cloth will net you full recognition by the Darkspear trolls for your generous actions. Our stores are such on wool that we would only need 60 pieces from you total. We should be able to acquire enough from others in the realm to support our drive. If you have the 60 pieces of wool cloth on you and are ready to donate them, I'm able to take them from you now.
Wonderful. We thank you for your generous donation, adventurer. Good to meet ya. Spirits be with you.
As with most of our other fabrics, our stocks of silk are at an all-time low. Our stores are such that we'd only need 60 pieces of silk from you total. We should be able to reach our goal with the support of others. A benevolent gift such as silk, might I add, would certainly increase your local standing in the community. If you have 60 pieces of silk cloth on you and are ready to donate them, I'm able to take them from you now.
Wonderful. We thank you for your generous donation, adventurer.
Cool. Alright, so now we have to make a quick flight over to... We are so close. We need 5,000 XP. So we're not going to level up from this. I was really... Oh, I see. I thought I was closer than I was. Yeah, so we need 5,000 XP. We just gained 2,003, about 4,000 total XP from turning this in. From turning those in, and we're going to gain a pinch more. Alright, so... Now I think I can start mentally. I've changed this to what am I looking forward to what can I accomplish, like how are we going to kind of map it out some? So we know we have the ability to play with one of each side. We have the number of races available to experience that, but we also need to save some things. So what do we need to save in the end? Well, starting with War Within, we're probably going to have to go Earthen, right? At least, I mean, I don't know if we're going to be allowed to go Earthen, I would imagine. But if that's the case, then we're going to need an Earthen on each. So that will be where we get our 2 Earthen races. And that's another thing. Like, some of these have to double up our races. So because of that, what did I say? We have 24 total races. But for Earthen, for Evoker, and for Panda, you want to double those up so you get one of each faction. So that really brings us more around 26, which now you do get 1 on each side. So for the Earthen, we can kind of tab their class, their class for later, because I don't know what they're going to be tied to. We can work back. The Drakthir, obviously it's got to be Evoker. So we're going to get to do a Horde and an Alliance of both of those when we run through Dragonflight. But there's like so little difference. We're just going to have to kind of play it by ear. That's going to be very redundant from my experience. And we'll just try to kind of take the road not taken as best as we can. Like, one of us can side with Wrathion and one with, what's his name? The guy, I can't remember. It starts with an S, I think. The other guy that's not Wrathion. For example. I mean, I don't really... We'll have to play that one out and just divide it as best we can, because I don't think... They're leaning more and more away from, in the expansions, the Horde versus Alliance being a distinct experience. So if you think about when the last time that was, like Legion, already, there is some, for sure. But... It's I mean, there is, actually. It is different. But it's not like night and day. Like, for instance, though, I can think for the Rogue Quest line in the Legion Hall, you have to assassinate specific people in the capitals. Well, that's different, obviously, if you're Horde versus Alliance. Whereas Demon Hunter, not so much. Like, I don't think it really matters. We'll kind of play with that as we get there. But yeah, that's going to be boring. All right, so working backwards, and we'll table the rest of what am I looking forward to, because we're about to be wrapping up on this episode. Bringing it in one tier below, Shadowlands, we can be whatever we want, so that's open to us. That's wide open. That can be any class race combo that we feel like having. One of each. There we go. There's a donation of silk up there. And then we... crap. BFA, I would say I want to at least do... like, maybe the 2 key ones, like Cool Tyros and Zandalari Troll would be a cool combo to do for those 2. I don't think we have any real leatherworking action we can get going because we haven't been skinning. So even though we're here, it doesn't really matter.
Hail, hail, sister. I'd like a moment of your time, if I may. We Tauren have endured much in our trials and tribulations in establishing our homeland. We now find ourselves in a dire shortage of cloth. If you have the materials to spare, I ask that you please donate them. You certainly would earn the gratitude of Tauren everywhere in helping us out.
As with most other fabrics, our stocks of silk are at an all-time low. Our stores are such that we'd only need 60 pieces of silk from you total. We should be able to reach our goal with the support of others. A benevolent gift such as silk, might I add, would certainly increase your local standing in the community. If you have 60 pieces of silk cloth on you and are ready to donate them, I'm able to take them from you
Wonderful. We thank you for your generous donation, adventurer.
So, like, I mean, that's all cool and all, but this is, and it's really helped move our inventory around. So now that's all the cloth we have, these two, and we're going to have to build up those stocks. We also have some mage weave there. These are our stockades that we're starting to build for the Forsaken. Alright, so I think we're only going to need one more episode in Desolace as the Horde, which is good. And then we are also going to run Razorfen Downs. So tomorrow we should be able to wrap up Desolace. You know, Monday again, that will probably be, let's just call that, like, maybe that will be my break day. Just whether or not it shifts a day or two. Tuesday we might get another episode going for the Fables or whatever we're on with that. I actually think we might be caught up on Fables. So that means come Wednesday we should be running Razorfen Downs in its entirety. And then Thursday we should begin doing Scarlet Monastery and all the things that go along with Scarlet Monastery, picking up the quests and so on and so forth. And depending on how that run goes, it might stretch into Friday as well. Yeah, we're going to kind of have to see. And then that means this upcoming weekend, the following weekend, we'll be able to kind of start doing this whole process again with the Alliance. And this is a real bottleneck kind of area for us. So when we finish all of that, so another week of doing Desolace with this character, and at the end of it, we'll be able to start working Alliance side, which will help us also, you know, we'll be getting ready to move on to All-Track Balance, which is cool. That's when we're going to get to prove that thing. So we're about 2 weeks away from that. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching, for listening, for tuning in. You rock. If you liked what you saw and you're this far in, you must have. Subscribe, like, tell your friends, make like 20 burner accounts, have them all subscribe. Check out the Patreon if you want to see this experience for Assassin's Creed. And check me out next time on the next episode of Lore of freaking Warcraft.